Boys, episode 87 of the Motorsport Republica podcast. Welcome.
We back.
We back in a huge way. What a weekend of sport. It's getting too much. Jim, Daniel, the triple header, triple header. I'm tired. Imagine the teams.
Yeah, it was
Imagine
crazy.
the teams.
They get paid for it, but
Oh, Jesus Christ. And now
That's a good point, Daniel. That's a great
they
point.
can't be
the
tired
poor
of it.
MotoGP boys were looking forward to getting back to Valencia. Now they've all their plans have changed.
Not Moto 3 mechanics, that's for sure. Economy everywhere. It's a bit rough.
Yeah, hard.
100%. Yeah, bloody hell. It's been a huge week, hasn't it?
Hey, Daniel, nice top, mate.
Yeah, you too, man. That's really nice looking. It's very familiar looking as well.
We're very factory at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
This was in no way, shape, or form planned by the way.
Absolutely not planned us both wearing Repsol. So
That's good.
we're just trying to carry Honda. We're trying to make Honda great again, obviously. And
absolutely.
we're repping it, mate. We're repping it.
We are. Jimmy, take it away. Moto Heaven got a special this week.
Shout out to Moto Heaven. 20% off all Cardo units. Anyone listening, head to motoheaven.com.au because the 20% off Cardo units is pretty crazy. No one's doing that. So give them some love and get yourself a new intercom, Pack Talk or the Edge or the, what is it? The Freecoms. Yep.
Yeah, just on that, those systems are amazing,
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah.
Like, I remember speaking to your old man. He's riding on 100 kilometers down the highway, and it sounds like he's on his lounge
He's
chair.
got a Pack Talk Edge.
Yeah, and the music's clear and everything's, it's super,
They
super
are good.
cool.
I got the 4X, and I'm not a massive, to be fair, intercom person. I really had to get convinced, but with the JBL speakers in them, they're pretty, they're amazing.
Yeah, that's
They are
lit.
amazing.
That's lit.
So, anyway, motoheaven.com.au, 20% off Cardo and everything else you need, like all your parts finders, stuff like that. Show them some love.
Yes, and guys, Patreon, please get involved. We have a upcoming ep, which we haven't planned just yet, but it's coming. It's coming. And also 20% off merch for anyone who is subscribed to our Patreon. We appreciate all the support.
Absolutely. And on the support, obviously, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, guys.
Love it.
All right, let's
Love
start
it.
with MotoGP. Wow. I mean,
Oh no, where do you? The crazy thing is, we haven't spoken about this. Like normally, we have like a little debrief, we talk,
Yeah,
but we
no, we're
haven't
straight into it.
talked about it at all.
It's,
So this is all really fresh.
all really fresh. And obviously, our thoughts and prayers with the people of
Valencia.
Valencia.
Yeah, absolutely.
The footage, man, is terrible.
Terrible. And like
Terrible.
gets worse and worse by the day, it looks like. So I think MotoGP made the right decision, quick decision. Change it to Barcelona. It was stupid of them to ever think they were going to be able to race in the circuit when there's houses and
People,
whole villages flooded. So
losing loved ones and stuff. No way.
So hopefully hopefully all the proceeds from the last race go to that town. So that'll be something that really be super good if they could do that.
I didn't even realize Spain had that type of like floods.
Yeah, neither did I.
You know,
Yeah,
to
it's
be honest.
incredible. You think
Wild,
it's just sunshine and
Yeah, I thought it was like always pretty barren.
yeah, it's crazy. And just when it rains, it pours, I suppose, in that region. So it's gone in 60 seconds, Nicolas Cage says.
Yeah, no, it's sad. So
Yeah,
any,
super
of
sad.
any of our Spanish listeners, bit heartfelt. Condolences, I guess, from little old Melbourne, Australia.
That's it. So yeah, Barcelona in 2 weeks. We'll get onto that shortly. But the race, Daniel, please give us some sprint race and race results.
Let's get it up, eh? Sprint race. Jorge Martin, Marc Marquez, Enea Bastianini were your top three. Alex Marquez, Fabio Quartararo, Franco Morbidelli, Brad Binder, Jack Miller, Pedro Acosta, and Marco Bezzecchi rounding out the top 10 in the sprint.
Yep.
And then main race, we have Pecco Bagnaia, Jorge Martin, Enea Bastianini top three, Alex Marquez, Pedro Acosta, Fabio Quartararo, Maverick Vinales, Alex Rins, Marco Bezzecchi, and Augusto Fernandez rounding out the top 10.
Good ride, Augusto Fernandez.
Only 15 of them finished though. So
When I did,
Not hard.
Yeah, not hard. When I did power rankings, I just automatically leave him in the bottom category, like nowhere to be seen or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then I actually looked at the results. I'm like, oh, fuck, he got in the top 10. I got to give him a good ride. I give him a little bit of a shout out. So
yeah, it's just the drama, wasn't it? There's just drama on the Sunday. I mean, you had that race start, everything was tense already, and then had
same
the
with the Saturday.
massive crash
rain.
with Miller. That was getting
Yeah.
scary there for a few moments, but it was so good seeing him walk away because that was a nasty crash. And we saw some photos of it today. I mean, his head was sort of in between. What do they call that rear end of the bike?
Just the rear end.
The tail
Yeah.
and the top of the. I mean, that could have been horrendous.
It's
You
almost between the swing arm and the tyre.
yeah, and And for him to walk away, I mean, like people were thinking them worse there for a little bit, but
Well, I thought because they came out really quickly saying all riders conscious, and I was like, man, that's like a spinal injury. Like
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I didn't want to say. I didn't put it out to the universe. I just like thought it.
yeah.
But I was like, fuck, that's like a spinal injury. Like that can be really bad.
And then you know what? Sorry, I won't cut you off, but I didn't mean to cut you off. But the other thing was I saw a lot of people online as soon as Brad Binder pitted, they thought to themselves, oh, fuck, KTM have boxed Binder, like, out of respect. And then there was a lot of that online as well.
Yeah, right. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, so I saw that, and then everyone's like, oh, my God, they're boxing Binder. That's not a good sign. And then, boom, on the screen, you got Miller. So
Yeah, right.
you continue what you're saying, sorry.
Oh, I can't remember now. Cut me off.
Standard.
Too slow.
That just speaks volumes, but of the safety equipment.
Alpine Stars?
And Alpine Stars, what
Yeah.
they're doing with all their stuff. So very, very fortunate for Jack.
It's scary, man. But obviously they took all the precautions. Because
Too much? Too much?
Nah, not motorcycle racing, man. There's no such thing as too much.
Yep.
I think, and it's at Sepang of all places. And
Yes,
remember
true.
speaking to Chris Vermeulen, it's always, the first corner when it's a chicane or, super tight,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
always
Always something.
something. We saw it with basically all the races this weekend as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So, there's no such thing as too much. When these guys are realistically putting their lives on the line for us, for entertainment, mate, they can have all the time they want.
The interesting, we had a couple of messages come through that saying that the TV coverage should not have shown the incident at the start, which is they're normally pretty good at that, but we had a bit of a Dick of the Week nomination, early Dick of the Week nomination, saying that the TV the head honcho of the TV shouldn't have shown those pictures. But yeah, just an awkward incident. Do we know what actually sort of transpired there? Like, did someone come in hot, hit Quartararo?
I actually don't know. I don't know. I think he might have just come in hot.
He hit Quartararo. Quartararo was sort of avoiding action and then went into Miller, and then Miller came over and then sort of went through the pack. But
And then took out Binder.
But someone must have gone in hot of turn one, but I just didn't get to see the whole incident.
Quartararo took a big shunt,
He did.
obviously with Binder as well. And then, he looked pretty frazzled when they were back in the pits afterwards, after the red
course.
flag, and he looked hurt. Then he hobbled back onto the bike, and then I think he pulled it into six.
Yeah, his best position of the year.
He's almost been my standout this,
last couple of weeks.
Last couple of
Yeah.
weeks. He's riding the wheels off that Yamaha. I reckon there's improvements in that Yamaha, and I reckon they're coming because Rins had a good weekend. He's actually been up there for a man that can hardly walk.
Yeah.
And then he's just been riding the wheels off that. And what I like about Quartararo is he used to be really hot-headed, but he just doesn't complain, doesn't whinge. He knows the bike's bad, and he's making improvements now. And now we can see the improvements. And he's riding the fucking wheels off that thing.
Yeah, he's doing. I think so. Johan Zarco's doing the same for Honda.
He is.
He'd almost be on par with.
Yep.
How good Fabio's been in the last
Yeah,
few weeks.
he's been
for
doing
sure.
top
Yeah.
tens as well, and I think that Honda's a worse bike. I think we can all
by
agree
far.
on that. And then what he's doing to that bike, and then you look at Marini. What's Marini doing? What's Marini doing? What's Mir doing? And they're on the factory. I guess they're all on factory spec bikes, but
They're on a factory team.
they're on a factory team representing Repsol, the greatest sponsor of all time. And Mir just crashes every weekend. Tom says he just folds the front end on purpose.
Well, you ran over Jack's legs as well.
he gives up. He gives up.
it's-
Doesn't even put the knee down to save it. Just lets it go. He goes, oh, I've had enough.
But Zarco, normally you wouldn't think he would be that type of person to do that. But after kind of maybe his Pramac Ducati stint, he's been in that role of developing bikes now, and he's obviously riding around the issues. And I don't know, there's something there, but
Well, they said
he's the only one doing
Quartararo finished 5th or 6th. Daniel,
in the main
Sixth.
race.
In the main
And
race.
there was a top. That's the highest a Japanese bike finished all year. They said.
Yeah,
so,
since Marquez.
So yeah, it's crazy. So
It's wild, man.
I agree. I think, and then Pramac, obviously getting Yamaha on board next year as well. That's going to add another dynamic. Have a couple extra bikes on the grid. Things are looking better.
Oh no,
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, for sure. I would have at the start of this year. I think we spoke about. I'm like, nah, Honda will get their shit together first, but doesn't look like it. It looks like Yamaha's
They've
leading
taken
the way.
a massive step, absolutely. And like you said, with both of the boys being up there, not just one, it's the bike that's making those improvements as well.
And okay, you got Quartararo finishing 6th in Sepang, so there's a heap of data in Sepang because they test there. The weather was good. The bike's supposedly no good. How is Fabio ahead of like Vinales, Alicia Spargo,
Bezecchi.
Bezecchi.
He's a world ahead.
He's fraud,
Fraudy.
major fraud watch at the moment. Like,
Especially when Alex Marquez finishes 4th.
Yeah.
Like,
Strong track for Alex Marquez, and
loves the
I
track.
didn't put him in my top 5.
yeah, true.
You're on the Bastianini bandwagon last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Well, he won there
Well, he
last
won
week.
there
Yeah, he did.
Last year, sorry.
Last year.
And yeah, man, and Alex Marquez won the sprint last year. So
Yeah.
That's right.
I forgot about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder, we are proudly supported by the great team down at Moto Heaven. They are absolutely unbelievable to deal with. And if I were you guys, I'd definitely head over to their website.
Yes, you never pay full recommended retail price at Moto Heaven, and free delivery for any order over $100.
100%. And they've got the best, most usable website in the whole motorcycle industry. Dare I say the world. They got parts finders. You can chuck in any bike you want. If it's a old KX250 or an R1, you can find anything you want. Helmets, they got everything. Head to motoheaven.com.au where you will get everything that you need. That's a guarantee.
Do it.
So, but like going back to it, Quartararo and Yamaha, like they're beating the factory Aprilia boys, Bezecchi, like they shouldn't be doing that. So
that's
I don't know if it means how good Quartararo is going or how bad
Aprilia's going.
because Aprilia's people still in our comments, man. I was laughing about it today.
Oh, yeah.
Why is Maverick Vinales getting so much hate? And then someone fired back at him, one of our loyal fans. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we should shout out that was really good.
And then he goes back and goes, yeah, I understand he has bad starts and he can't handle the. He's like, he can't. He has tire issues. I'm like, well, that's your problem. Fix your starts and fix your tire issues. Like you just laid it out in the line.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
He's paying off someone. I'm telling you, he's paying off someone.
But it was so funny down at Phillip Bowl, like people come, it's fraudy over there. It's
Everyone,
crazy.
there's people all around the world. Literally, I kind of feel sorry for him because I've started this, but he's like fraud. Like he's ultimate
And
fraud.
anyway, we're not going to talk about Phillip Bowl anymore.
Nah, you can say it.
Back to the race, guys. That first 5 laps, was that the best 5 laps of the year? Like, that was
That's
unreal.
the best few laps, I reckon, in a couple
Is
of years.
Martin, did he not need to do that? But,
No.
but all I can think to myself, and I think I said this to you, is like, imagine if there was no aero tire pressure, how amazing that fucking
That's
race
on
would have
all
been.
day.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been a race of the ages.
Someone would have crash stroken, or they would have both crashed.
Yeah, it was. I think it would have been that way.
Yeah.
They both would have gone out.
It was the fight for the fresh air at the start, as they said on commentary. And, God, it was just, I haven't felt that in years, that battle.
Bagnaia just had to obviously throw the kitchen sink at it, and like they
Yeah.
were taking each other's legs out. Didn't do a chantra, but they were taking each other's legs out. And then Bagnaia, like to his credit, he just couldn't give up. Like he had to be.
He had to do it.
He
But
had
Bar
to
to
do
bar
it.
as well on the main straight.
Crazy.
But you know what? 24 points just. MotoGP can happen. It just flips in an instant. You win, he crashes, 25 points, it's back.
Yeah, well, look,
yeah.
2006 Valencia, I think Rossi had a 17-point lead or something going
That's
into
right.
that.
And the
that
other
last
thing with,
round.
like, I compare this to Formula One. Formula One, you can stay mid-pack. You can just cruise to 8th place. MotoGP, you have to stay on the bike. It's a massive thing. It's like if you lose concentration for 1 second, you're done. That's the biggest difference between those two sports.
And there's the threatening of rain all weekend as well.
Someone chucking it up the inside, taking you out. Someone like losing the front and taking you out. There's just so many variables in this sport. Like that's why we love it.
And Martin, to his credit, he held back then, just took the seconds. Marquez crashed behind him, standard, but then it gave him, all the time in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Bastianini wasn't making any inroads at all. But yeah, that battle was something else. 11
insane.
passes in 3 laps.
Crazy.
And passing in places like it reminded me back in the old days where they could pass at any corner.
That's right.
Surprise, like a surprise attack.
Because you don't see that now. Like
Nah,
it's
you
always
don't.
like after a long straight or that sort of thing.
Martin's got his starts dialed though.
Yeah,
like, he is,
absolutely.
normally that's Pecco, but fucking hell, Martin was just on it.
I noticed he's got a bit of a different technique. He really stays low on the bike for the whole time.
Yeah,
where
he
they
does.
sort of come up and then they set and then they go. So I found that he's changed that in the second half of the year. I don't know if that's obviously helping, but
Absolutely.
yeah,
That's a good observation.
Oh, just such a good battle. Like how good's Barcelona? Who does it favour?
I was thinking
Barcelona.
that. I actually don't know. I don't know. I don't know who
High
won.
grip track, very high grip track. Both like would have done a lot of laps around the track as well. I reckon if they went to Qatar, I reckon they would have favoured Bagnaia a lot more because he would have had.
I don't know about that. He's had a few blunders there too. It's an interesting one.
I don't know who it's going to favour.
11 wins for Bagnaia on a Sunday this year. It's pretty incredible. 10.
It's amazing.
Pretty incredible. Like, and they're going to talk about Martin winning this championship, but he's really won the championship from sprint races. Honestly.
Well, it's
he's
eight DNFs for Bagnaia.
Yeah. And you got to remember, Martin's got seconds, like...
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
I think go back to Barcelona sprint.
Yep.
Pecco put it down on the last lap. Do you remember
That's
that?
what I mean.
Like, that's
did, he
crazy. He's crashed on the last lap.
Yep.
Like, that never happens. So,
And Martin's got in his favour that no one chasing's ever won going into the last round.
wow.
Except for Hayden.
No, wasn't Hayden leading?
No,
Or was he the first one
Yeah,
since-
he was the only one.
There you go.
He was
So-
the only one.
Yeah.
A lot of points on offer still. I mean, there's still 37 points
For the
on offer
weekend.
for the weekend, and there's 24 points. So,
It just feels like something's going to happen, doesn't it?
yeah, it does.
Like,
Yeah.
something's going to go down, and
Yeah.
it's not going to be as simple as finishing first and Pecco finishing third.
Imagine if there was no sprint race. I know hypothetical, obviously. I'm paraphrasing here, as James would say.
It's not a paraphrase at all. It's not a paraphrase.
Furthest thing from.
That's the best you ever said. 24 points is the margin, 25 for a win. Like, how cool would that have been going through to the last round? But that sprint race adds that extra dynamic. So
You're right, though. It has been since Thailand. You can just the tension. Like I'm watching it, my heart beats. I'm sweating.
sweating
like
on my
Tom.
arms now. I'm
Yeah,
fucking feeling
it's
it.
like you just everything's so tense, and the concentration these guys have. I don't know. That's why they're the best in the world, though, because they don't
I know, that's
crumble.
That's right.
I know. And you look at their teams and their girlfriends and their wives and the sisters.
Yeah.
And they're just like, like they're on
Freaking
edge.
out, yeah.
Like Martin's brother's like got his head in his hands. Like, you just-
Cheeseburger Javier.
He's had a few.
Yeah, he's ate what,
Yeah,
buddy?
they
There's
got-
a reason why he's not in G.
Yeah, they got the first one right, the second one not a bit wrong, but that's all right. Got 1 out of 2. Right, you are.
Can we talk about Banyai's mistake? Sprint race.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Well, who would have thought? I didn't see that coming though, and it was a perfect timing on board of Marquez,
I know.
and then you see
Yeah.
the front go. Fuck.
Yeah. But he's done that before. He did that in Mugello leading the race, clipped the curb through the Arrabbiata section.
He just never looks like he's going to make a mistake.
I know he doesn't. He doesn't.
Like, he looks like he's going to run wide. The bike's twisting under him and then just makes the corner. He never runs wide. Where Martin's always off, like when they're chasing.
he clipped the curb. Is that what it was?
That's what they're saying.
That's what they said. It was. He had to really
He
slow.
ran over the curb.
Fuck, it
and
must
that's
have
what cost
been
him.
millimeters.
That's all it takes, I suppose, isn't
But
it?
you got to remember the contact patch on a tyre when
Yeah,
you're at
that's true.
56 degree lean or whatever it is, 55 degree lean.
It's nothing.
tiny.
It's like a 10-cent piece or
So
something.
you run over a ripple strip.
Yeah.
See you
God,
later.
I couldn't believe it when he lost that.
It didn't look like happening at all, especially the build up to the weekend, the qualifying
He
session.
led every session. Every session.
As soon as I seen that, I thought, this is a Bagnaia masterclass.
Yeah.
This weekend's going to be, like,
Well,
it
almost was,
everything
wasn't
to
it?
him.
Yeah, that qualifying, I put it up in our story, is the best qualifying I've ever seen. Those two hot
Those
laps.
2 laps, my God.
Jesus.
I know.
If you want to just watch how talented two people are, using the most out of the machinery that they can possibly do.
Squeeze every millisecond out of it.
watch that
Tadotsi
qualifying
was
session.
like this had the whole time. He was like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's exactly what he said. Fuck.
So pretty
fuck
much
ball.
it would have been like that,
Fuck.
It was, and then when he crashed, he just looked up into the sky and he's probably thinking,
He's like this.
fuck, I've just thrown away the championship, the slim hopes.
Yeah, 100%.
Because now Martin, he's just going to nurse it home.
He's just got to finish,
yeah.
But who knows? Can he make a mistake?
But I don't think it's in his nature. Like, he should have just stayed second the whole race, and he tried
Well,
for the win.
He
Like,
did say he's most comfortable when he's just full
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So
Yeah,
it's
and
going to be.
he was closing that gap as well during the race, and then he had that little moment there that he's just like, probably back off and take seconds.
Did Beggs win Sunday race at Barcelona?
I don't know, Cody. Do you want to look it up?
Get that up.
Because like, he should have won the sprint. He should have won I think he did win Sunday. I'm not 100% sure. Or did he fade? Did he fade in the end or something?
Aprilia's. I'm going to hate saying this, but Aprilia's normally do well there.
They do.
Yeah, if he goes an extra lap, we'll touch on Jake Dixon shortly. How that happened, far out. You can see it, checkered flag, Jakey Dub. Fucking won't say it because Curdy will get angry at me.
That's his cousin. Nah, Barcelona.
04.
Pecco won
Yeah, he did.
That's right, we got it.
by 1.7 seconds.
Again, who was second?
Martin.
Yeah, okay. That's the thing as well.
That's just an
At the
aero
moment,
race.
you've got the two boys. You got the Bags and you got the Martin. Marquez is hanging on by a thread, and then no one else. No one else is competing. So Martin can get to the front, let Bags go, and then just nurse it home. But anything can happen. Like anything, you can touch a curb. You can fucking get a dud tyre from Tarotsi. You don't know.
Yeah, that's right. You
don't
like
know.
you said earlier, someone can take him out. If
Yeah.
he doesn't qualify well.
Especially the first chicane. What did Chris say?
Yeah.
Always dangerous.
Yeah, and that's always a big one in Barcelona.
Oh,
Always
God,
something happen.
it's gonna be so crazy. It's good. And
Freaking out just thinking about it.
it's gonna be your birthday weekend that weekend, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
when
we're gonna
everyone's
be watching-
over.
we're gonna
Oh,
be-
yeah, it should come to mine for the sprint race.
We're coming to yours anyway, bruh.
Oh, yeah, true.
And it should be on at like 10 o'clock, not 1 a.m. if it's in Barcelona, you'd think.
Yeah, normally.
Yeah.
think it's
Is it
pretty
going to be
early.
cold? Like,
It would be. But why
start to cool down.
Why is Valencia later? Like, it's in the same country.
I don't know.
It's like
Is
the
it-
time zone's different.
Well, it's like, is it? It might be different. Who knows?
I don't think it is. in
WA
Spain.
and.
Yeah, but
and-
we're not in Spain.
Or maybe because of our time difference now. We get that extra hour.
Maybe. Yeah,
No,
maybe.
because it's been like, all the races have been at 10 o'clock. Oh, yeah.
This is such an Australian problem. Right now.
Yeah. It is.
Either way, we'll work it out and we'll be watching it.
Yeah, we will definitely. Well, yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's going to be if it's at 3 a.m. in the morning, we'll be watching it live.
Is
so.
it a double header as well that weekend with F1? Do you know?
I don't know. No,
That's all right. It's all good.
Hopefully it's not because too much double headers. As a kid, I used to love watching both, and then it's just so Vegas is on the 24th of November.
That's a week
It's a
after.
week after.
Yep.
Oh, that works.
So he has no F1 for 3 weeks.
Well, last year was a double header in the finales for F1 and Valencia.
Yes.
Remember we had to stay up and watch that till like 3 a.m.
You're right.
when we did
we were in
the
Queensland.
Vermeulen
Chris
episode.
Vermeulen, yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you boys think Iannone went?
I think he
Yeah,
did
I think
what
he did what he had
Yeah.
to do,
Yeah, it's interesting. He said like he came out after the race and he was like, the only limitation of it was me. Like the harder you push the bike, the better everything is. The better the tire feels. You just got to push it hard and hard and hard. And they say that with those these new MotoGP bikes. But he couldn't believe how the difference was between 2019 and 2023.
A lot of
4.
development, especially
Yeah.
when you're going from an Aprilia to the Ducati.
Yeah.
He actually admitted he's not ready for this bike.
Well, I guess he
Yeah.
wouldn't
No.
know as
No,
well.
that's right. Well, I mean, look when he pulled up to the line, trying to look over at Bezzecchi to see what he's doing for a start procedure. And
Yeah.
During
You know what's
practice.
crazy for MotoGP? There's no, like, you can't practice.
No.
Yes, you can sit on, you can go on and
There's no simulators.
there's no simulators.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's exactly like what you're going to ride. Like that's what's the incredible thing about people jumping on these machines. Like there's no bike that compares to a MotoGP bike.
No, not at
You
all.
can be as close as possible with these road bikes, but there's going to be major differences. still.
Major,
And
yeah.
he rides a super bike and he goes, it is like 100 times better. You know, like it's insane. It's insane. So yeah, kudos to him. I think he did really well. He's there with Sava. At the end, they were sort of competing for that final spot, but he stayed on the bike. That's the main thing, huh?
Well, and even to beat Sava, who's been on the bike testing,
Yeah.
first and foremost in the last 2 or 3 rounds, like that's a fair crack.
Mm.
And I think he came out and said, at least I did better than Bautista last year or something.
Is that what he said?
time wise or something.
He's so good.
But it was awesome to see him back there, man. He fit in.
Yeah.
It's where he belongs. I believe it's where he belongs.
Yeah,
you
same.
know?
He's got so much talent. I remember Marquez came out a year or two ago and said that one person I feared, I think in the intermediate class or even just in general, was Andre Iannone.
I mean, they had some epic battles
Yeah,
through Moto 2.
exactly. So that's a pretty big compliment if Marc Marquez is saying that about you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Well, hopefully he can squeeze back in the paddock over the next couple of years.
Well, he's,
hard.
it's all just down to sponsorships. He deserves to be on that bike more than Chandra or Fernandez.
Well, what will probably happen is they will finally realise that Morbidelli is no good and they might get that seat. Who
Yeah,
knows?
he's fraud watch as well. Put him on. He's no good. No, had enough. He's had enough. We'll put the curse on him. The
he's
Republic of curse.
He's got the new bike. He's done nothing.
Nah,
he's
he's
done
cooked.
nothing
He's
this
done.
year.
He's done.
He's had his chance.
He's got his
There's
you
no
know,
excuse. There's no injury. There's no excuse.
He's got his VR46 friend ride next year, and that will be it. He'll go off into the sunset. Then he'll go to World Superbikes.
Yeah.
Then he'll get like 6. Consistent 6.
Mr. Consistency. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he goes across, but I think, most definitely next year will be his last. I can't see him pulling something out of the bag.
Everyone loves him, they say in the paddock, but he just has a lot of brain fades, doesn't he? He does take people
Yeah, it's
out.
real strange. But he was never like that when he first came through.
So I don't know what the goal is. And, I was thinking about this the other day. This is how hard it is. You're a Morbidelli, Alex Marquez, Augusto Fernandez, Remy Gardner, all Moto2 world champions. And, they just can't do it. For whatever reason, Alex Marquez went to that Honda. It was obviously a bucket of bolts, But then, the level is just further above again. Morbidelli, so good in Moto2, and then got second in the world title. But
Probably should have won it.
But, can't do anything with it now, and it looks like his career's fading out. And Augusto Fernandez has been nowhere this whole time. And he won the world title. And no one's got to remember him winning the Moto2 title.
No. And that was probably because Acosta was injured anyway.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
True.
The only person who's new to the sport in the last few years who's adapted to the bike is Ben Acosta. Realistically, there's not a rookie that's come in who's been outstanding, I would say.
That's a good point.
Bastianini had some good rides on
Yeah.
his first year. He had some very
On
good.
the
He had a couple.
Avintia.
He had a couple
Yeah.
podiums. If I'm not,
Yeah, no, you're
if I'm
right.
not
100%.
mistaken, in Italy, I think.
Yeah, San Marino. I think he came back from the clouds.
Yeah, when Quartararo won the championship.
Was he on the Avintia or the Grassini, or did he go to Grassini after?
Nah,
No,
it was
it was
half Avintia, half VR46 when they first came. It was a Sky VR46.
Oh, that's
that
right.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Then to Grassini the next year.
Yeah, and then he won Qatar, didn't he? First race, I think.
Yes, pipped a Polo Spargo.
Yeah. Oh, what a
on a Repsol Honda.
Repsol
That was like
what a quirk. What?
that was a false sense of security for Honda.
What a Quinella that
podium.
is.
Yeah,
Christ.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That first few races for them, they're like, oh, we might be on. Absolutely.
I thought that as well. They fucking Maverick Vinales cock teased me. Frauds.
No, don't say it. He's so good, Vinales. Fucking nowhere.
Come on, man. 7th. That's respectable.
Not good enough.
Bezecchi's starting Fraud Watch next year. I've already made my mind.
Dude, he's on fraud watch for the last race, definitely.
Yeah.
He just,
He was what, 11th,
I don't even
10th?
know, 9th and 10th.
Talk about the riders that were in front of him as well on the main race. Vinales, Quartararo. Did Zarco finish in front of him?
No.
Nah, 2 behind.
Okay. Who was 9th? And
How many seconds behind Zarco was he though? In front of
Zarco was 4 seconds.
That's nothing, but
4 seconds behind.
he was stuck behind Zarco for a long time as well.
what? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Bez.
He really can't get that 23 to work
Oh,
at all.
But you
But
got to
that's-
adapt. You got to adapt.
That's right. That's
I know.
100%.
It's crazy.
And he had the choice. He could have been on
he'd be
Morbidelli's
kicking
bike.
himself.
That's gonna win the world title.
Yeah.
He'd be absolutely kicking himself.
La Familia, but you know what I'm saying? You got to stay with the
Well,
fans.
it doesn't work, but
Yeah, it doesn't.
doesn't work. I think Rossi should come out and publicly apologise to him for convincing him.
He's his own man. He can make his own choices. But yeah, just a silly move, man, to stay. Morbidelli would have been better off on that bike in the sense of it's
like
not
that-
doing
yeah.
anything anyway. So
Controversially, it's still a smarter move. I don't know if this is a crazy thing to say, but at least Marini went to a factory bike on factory money,
100%.
and he knew he was in the doghouse. But for Bez, he had the best bike on the grid. That's gonna now with Jorge Martin, it's probably gonna win the world title. It was a crazy thing to do when I heard, and it's still. And then, when this MotoGP, I am MotoGP. You can't make up that ground on an inferior machine
No,
anymore.
you can't.
I know.
That's the difference.
But it's always been like that.
yeah.
And once you have one rubbish year, it's just hard to get back into that top team as well.
True. Or he landed in Aprilia, which realistically probably should be Bastianini's. but-
Morbidelli just keeps getting the ride, I suppose.
Yeah, he's on an old bike at least.
Yeah.
But where Bezecchi's on a factory Aprilia with Martin.
But I reckon he fell up into that bike
Who? Bez?
because Bastianini jumped the gun
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
on the move.
That
But
should be the switch.
it should be.
It
But-
makes more sense, doesn't it, I reckon?
Well, imagine Factory Ducati losing both their factory riders or factory
Yeah.
guys on a factory bike. to factory Aprilia. Imagine that.
Yeah,
That would have been
that's all right.
insane. In the same breath, though, maybe jumping the gun wasn't such a bad thing for Bastianini.
We'll wait and see, I
Because
suppose.
that KDM,
It's a factory KDM
it's
as
a
well.
factory KDM anyway, and it should be better than the Aprilia.
if
Yeah.
KDM
It's-
have any money left.
What?
Yeah.
if they're allowed in the paddock next year.
Yeah. They might, who was that team that got kicked out from Track House?
Razlan Rasley's Crypto Data
Data.
RNF. He came up on my Facebook the other day, Razlan Rasley.
What? People you may know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just add them all. I add them all. See what happens.
Yeah, absolutely wild, man. But maybe that was the right choice. Maybe jumping the gun wasn't a bad idea at all.
Yeah, I hope it works out for Bastianini, that's for sure.
It's going to be interesting. Absolutely interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's it. That's it for MotoGP for me, boys.
off to Valencia. Not
Yeah.
Valencia. Off to, you know what's crazy? We've been speaking about how Valencia
It
is.
shouldn't be the last race.
Crazy.
It's
Is this
well,
our
it's-
fault?
it-
Doesn't
It's
yeah.
not
make
our
sense.
fault. It's not our fault.
No fault. Touch wood.
I did the witch fucking.
Just say it. Did you say it?
Did you do the rain
Saged.
dance?
Yeah, I did the rain dance. Just danced too much, unfortunately.
But it's just incredible how things just follow us with these sort of things. It's happened that countless times.
It has.
It's like Honda citing the bloody Italian guy or whatever, the Spanish guy. Like, it's unbelievable. We talk about it, it happens. We talk about Valencia not being in last race, boom, a tragedy happens. And it goes to Barcelona.
Not to pump your tyres, but it started with your Marquez call.
Yeah, true.
True. Yeah, that was an unbelievable call. But you know what? Barcelona, like, it's a shit track.
It is. I'm not happy.
So it's not it wasn't one of our picks.
Better than Valencia, but Valencia's.
I don't know. It is better than Valencia.
I actually wanted Qatar. I wanted Qatar.
more passing opportunities. There's one.
There's
There's like
much
two.
of a muchness, really.
Yeah.
Barcelona's
would've been
overrated.
sick.
It is overrated, but Barcelona.
They should have just flown back here.
That would
know.
have been fucking
Or was that
sick.
too selfish?
Nah.
Nah.
We'll look after him.
One last thing though, the I don't know why I wrote this down, but the minute silence for Valencia was the loudest minute silence I've ever heard. Like the whole grid was so quiet, and then the whole grandstand was like yelling out and singing. I was like, "Fuck, this is so
Bro, did you see
disrespectful."
when Miller was down and like they didn't know what was going on?
They
All the crowds like laughing and cheering,
They
clapping.
did that with Simoncelli.
I know.
They were booing.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
English second language, but you know, it's a
Lack of schools and shit.
a bit of a barrier there.
Uneducated.
Our friend of the pod, Mark Danby, was there, but he was the hottest Grand Prix he's ever been to in his life.
Jesus.
Yeah, he is. It was like stiflingly hot. Like
Sweating bullets.
35 degrees.
Or like when you pop
I
pills
was
like
gonna
that,
say, is
you,
he sweating from the pills.
you're,
or
you're
the heat?
sweating when it's 1 degree. Imagine when it's 40.
No comment. No comment.
I don't do it, mate. I don't do it. I told you so many times, don't do it.
Moto 2 results. Daniele Briscali Jr.
Excuse me. Moto 2, Celestino Vietti, Jorge Navarro, Ethan Guevara. Top 3, Jake Dixon, Tony Arbolino, Marcos Ramirez, Dennis Onchu, Aaron Canet, Somcat Chantra, and Diego Moreira.
Daniel, give us our sexyheaven.com.au dick of the week.
It's got to be Jake Dixon.
It has to be.
That has to be.
That is the ultimate dick move from a very loud-spoken person.
Couldn't have happened to a better bloke. Seriously.
I really don't know how that happens, really. I do not know how this happens. He's not coming first. He sees the riders in front of him that's still
They're
going.
still pinning
True.
it. Like,
Yeah.
it
That's a good point.
He's a checkered flag that waves. Just see that if there's no checkered flag, keep
Plus, you got a
going.
pit board.
I know.
What he was third at the time. You see the other pit boards as well. One to go, whatever. However they display it.
Yeah.
You know, the only
Seriously, I'm so. Oh no, I feel for Jake.
The only good thing for CF Moto is his teammate passing. Because
Guevara,
how
yeah.
fucking angry would you be as a team
Oh,
owner? You got a
man.
podium and then he gives it up in the last.
True.
You know, that's the only saving grace. The owner would have been like, whatever, who cares? But it could have been a disaster.
They still had a 3-4, but
Yeah.
it's a
It was dumb.
What
Yeah.
a strange podium as well.
real
Three
strange.
riders. I mean, Vietti just has these weekends where he just absolutely
He's a
dominates.
yo-yo.
He is, isn't he? Like, it just depends on what the track is. He's really track dependent.
Yeah, it's a strange one, you know. Like if
Yeah.
he comes out and does that most weeks, it's a different story with him. But he's way too hit and miss.
But fresh air, Daniel, isn't it a big thing? Like anywhere in motorsport, he gets that fresh air at the start. He guns it. First 3 laps, he's out, and then he wins. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, but again, I've seen him bottle it like that too.
True.
You
What about
know?
Navarro? Is he his first podium as well? And he's filling in for.
He's filling in for
Yeah.
Joe Roberts. and
Jesus,
coming
that's just-
across from World Super Sport. So
That's talent right there.
I was just about to say, shows the talent that's in that class.
Yeah.
Well, we've got our boy coming over next year. We'll be excited about
The skipper,
yeah, what's his name?
Huertas.
The Huertas. I'll remember his name one of these days.
But yeah, for Navarro to put it on pole, I think it was his first pole since 2019
Crazy.
or something like that when he was with
How does that happen? Seriously.
Speed Up.
So he races for a super sport team. He used to race in Moto 2. Then he went
He's
over.
He
racing
broke
Moto
his
2.
leg in front of us.
Oh yes,
In,
yes.
turn one.
Yes.
I
it
remember
turn one
watching
or-
that.
Is
Yeah.
that when he got
Ran over or something.
airlifted to hospital?
I think so.
2019.
It was like 29. I'm pretty sure it was 2019.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was wild. So
yeah.
so he's in Super Sport, and there was a big mix-up. He was racing for someone in Super Sport, and he went to a better team because their rider was doing shit, and I think there was
Okay.
a swap with Baldassari somewhere as well.
Yeah, right. Just
But
a bit
yeah,
of a free for all sort of thing.
but I think he was filling in for someone else not long ago. And yeah, now
But good on him. Like
now
that's
for
incredible.
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And it's good for them too. Like they're a bit of turmoil there as well, their team. So
Yeah, well, so Roberts is obviously injured. What's wrong with him?
I don't know. Did he get injured in
no,
Australia?
he broke his shoulder on Friday in Australia.
Oh, is that
I
what
remember
happened?
seeing him. Yeah, he was out for the weekend.
No, that was Vietti. That broke his
Oh,
shoulder.
that was Vietti. Sorry, yeah. It was Philibon though, Roberts.
I think
wasn't it?
Roberts hurt himself in
Yeah.
PI.
Yeah.
Wrecked
I
himself.
don't even remember that at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
where
remember Vietti breaking his shoulder on Friday either, because there wasn't much running on Friday, was there?
No. So, but this is his first weekend back on the bike.
And he wins. Like,
So for him to come back and
doesn't
get
make
through-
sense.
Yeah, that
Get
doesn't
through
make
that heat.
sense.
I know.
and the pain and to win,
He's got bolts in his shoulder and shit. Like, I just
doesn't-
don't get it. Like, he
Yeah.
couldn't even sell. He had his arm down like this, celebrating with his left. Like, and he wins by like what?
1.4.
Just, but.
And then
jeez.
Navarro like comes out of nowhere. Like it's I don't get Moto 2 sometimes.
And Guevara hasn't had that good of a year either, has he?
Nah,
No, that's his best result.
podium ever in Moto 2. And he's a Moto 3 world champion a couple of years ago.
Dominated
Yeah.
that season. So it's really good to
So
see
maybe
him
a bit
up
of a breakout ride thanks to Jake Dixon for
Yeah.
Guevara, hopefully. I think he broke his leg or something as well, didn't he? I think he was
there.
injured
Yeah,
for
he
a
was
bit.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had broke his leg.
Yeah.
So Aldeguer wasn't racing. He's injured as well, by the looks of things.
Yeah, he must have got injured when
I
he
didn't even
barrel
realise.
rolled. When he
Yeah,
barrel
yeah.
rolled Tony.
He's
Albertino.
broken his wrist, or I know his wrist is in like a brace or something.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just a strange weekend for Moto 2. All the stars weren't really there.
Yeah, I mean,
Canet wasn't there?
credit to Canet to come back up into 8th.
Yeah.
That was a decent ride.
Lopez.
No.
Igura, mechanical.
Mechanical. But that was actually scary.
Yeah.
Did you see how close
Dixon.
him and Dixon got?
Yeah.
They almost freaking headbutted just about.
Yeah, 100%. Sepang doesn't like Igura. You know, he obviously threw it down the road. Imagine if this was when he didn't win the title, when he was the most Japanese thing ever.
I know. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Look at
Imagine
you,
he
he's,
didn't
Tommy's salivating about it.
Imagine if he didn't steal the championship last round. Oh,
Would
that'd
have
be
loved it. But Lopez,
2022 all over again.
Lopez 13th. Sergio Garcia 14th.
Yeah, it was just a.
He's just nowhere, man. He's really struggling. I don't know what's going on.
There's a few mechanicals around. I mean, we'll touch on Moto 3 shortly, but like they had a new Honda engine and they were blowing up. Like,
Talking about
far
great
out.
Honda make Honda great again. Jeez.
They bring an engine for next year early and put in the bikes, and they 3 of them blow up. Poor Scott Ogden as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeepers.
It was all happening there, but I thought the Moto 2 race wasn't too bad, especially when Vietti made that mistake. And
Yeah,
Ramirez
it was
came
okay.
back through.
It was all right.
It wasn't too bad. There's been better ones.
But as we always see with Sepang, those hot races, they never can really fight all race because just everything overheats, tires, engine, everything. They have to have gaps, and we saw that last year with the MotoGP race
it
as
was
well.
like the most boring race
ever.
of the
So,
season.
Yeah.
But when it gets too hot, it's the same as Formula One. It's just everything overheats now. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's
engines
right.
don't want to be run in the hot conditions.
no.
No, they don't like it at all. And going back to our dig of the week, I did read somewhere they're like, oh, you know, it does get hot in those conditions and you can lose laps of concentration. I'm like, fuck, come
Nah.
on, surely not. Like,
Well,
you
no one
can't-
else did it.
Exactly.
It was like 90 riders through the whole Grand Prix
He
weekend.
must
What do
have
you mean?
he must have rewatched a Spa-Gran
The
in Barcelona.
the motorsport community, I think, is just sick of whinging Poms. I think this weekend the tide has turned.
Oh, yeah.
We're just getting sick of the English and they're complaining.
We like Scott Ogden and Eddie O'Shea. They're our two. They're
Yeah.
our two boys.
That's it.
Lando Norris can go fuck himself. Anyway, we'll get into that later.
We will.
But yeah, on shoe, man, he's an animal too.
Next year,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. That's Tommy's
I'll go
boy.
like this. I'll go like this. They do that on the camera. Next year, all right?
I was
actually
watching
has-
thinking of you.
Yeah, well, he had some good moves, and
That
Yep.
save,
Yeah.
bro. That's when I thought of you. He made that save and he came back through to like 6,
Yeah.
7, and I was like, yeah, Tommy's on. Like that's
future world champ.
He's the man. He's gonna be so much fun to watch next year.
And he throws it up the inside. He ruffles a few feathers. We like
bloody
that.
oath, we like that.
Yeah, we love that.
Something that someone's not Spanish as well.
All right, Moto 3, Daniele Briscale.
Moto 3, no surprise. David Alonso, Tayo
He's
Furusato,
so good.
and Jose Antonio Rueda. Top 3. Ivan Ortola, Colin Via, Joel Kelso, Rusei Yamanaka, Stefano Neppa, Matteo Bertelle, and Luca Lunetta.
Talk about
Cocktease, Calso.
no.
Oh, stiff. Not Joel.
We love
Not
Joel.
Jolie.
We love Joel.
Talk about Republica influencing the
again,
world.
again.
Snipers.
I know.
He puts it on like the second, and then it was leading the race. I'm like, Jesus! Like we actually like, control the universe right now.
Boys, I'm going to be honest. I've never seen that team ever like before.
Well, that's why me and Daniel were dealing with it.
And I'm like, what the fuck? They're up. He's leading the race, looking great. He put
Yeah.
the soft front on, so it was obviously going to fade. But then they finished 11th and 12th in the end, or 9th and 11th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was great. What good colours, but the bike does look insane.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
that's-
homage.
That was the biggest hype about him at the start of the
Yeah.
year. They're like, oh, it's like the Scott bike. Because that was Scott as well, wasn't it? That black and yellow thing.
yeah, it was Dovey. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Yeah,
Yeah, it's but yeah, that was it was really enjoyable watching that.
it was so funny. I was watching it going, "What is going on?" Like, how you
And
can't
then
make
he
this
put
shit
out
up.
he put out a lead, like
I
a little
know.
lead, and I was like, what is going on here? Like their best result all year was 11th. Or his
Because of the
best
video,
result.
his
bro.
best result was 11th, and
Daniel and I were egging him on. You know, fans from Australia had to push him over the line.
it's amazing. Amazing. I reckon they saw the post, boys. I think that like just motivated everyone.
Well,
We walked into the most hostile box ever when we went down to
that was
Philadelphia.
Two big crashes.
Two big crashes. We
They-
walk in. James is speaking English. They don't know what he's talking about.
Nah, I had to talk with my hands. And
Bubbity,
they finally
boobity,
understood. I walked in and like, yeah, they both crashed. The bikes were fucking in shambles. I was speaking to the old manager, who was like 80 years old. Didn't want to bar me. I was so intimidated. They were just looking at me like, who the fuck is this guy? But you know what? Once we said we were a podcast and we're big fans, all the mechanics dropped their tools and all like loving it for a bit.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So that to be
it was
fair,
a cool experience.
It was a cool experience.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of cool to see the other side of it when
Yep.
shit goes
It's the
south.
fan, yeah.
What was the real big thing with that is the curtain was down. So you walk through
I
the
had to open the curtain up. It was fucked.
You walk in and you're locked in. There's no other sound. Like you're
Yeah.
just in there.
No hiding.
Two bikes are just in pieces and go, I'm going to get me jackets. Where's
Yeah.
your jackets?
Where's Podcast from Australia? Big fans.
You got some jackets for us? The guy's like, yeah.
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, my phone good.
Well, fuck, that was
Could have
funny.
bought him a coffee or something, you know.
Oh, they get free coffees, bro. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. No, back to Kelso. He's just always there or thereabouts, isn't he? And he's having a great season. He really is.
It was,
He's consistent, man.
it was
He
his
is.
closest, I think, this round.
Yeah,
One-
he's going to
1.2
finish.
off the
I
Yeah.
think he's going to finish 7th or 8th in the championship, which is really, really impressive. Obviously, he went to that team very late last year on a paid ride, and we'll see what he can do next year with a team that has full backing behind him, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And some people that he's more familiar with as well.
Exactly
Help
right.
him,
Yeah.
You know, but Alonso, man.
I know, like, it
Dropping
was
down to
never in
13th.
doubt, man. Never in doubt.
He
Forrestado
just-
didn't even try in the last lap. He goes, you just can't do it. You just couldn't get
What,
past
what
it.
can you do?
What can you do, seriously?
How good was Forrestado when they were in the afterwards celebrate? He just grabs Alonso by the back of the neck and he just goes, "You're." He goes like this. He's angry.
I think he's done it to him before.
That's the angriest I've ever seen a Japanese person since World War II. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, James.
Yeah, they're pretty forgiving race.
Yeah, they are.
You can nuke them
probably
and they still let you in.
Thank you for passing me.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah,
good food,
it was a good race. It always is with them.
Just David Alonso, like, just masterclass, man. I just-
Yeah.
13 races,
13 wins.
6 on the trot. Is it now?
Yep, 6 on the trot.
That's
And
a
so
new rec-
humble,
that's a new
humble
record.
and
so humble,
Yeah.
so young, so talented, and
Ugh.
just you just know he's going to win. And
Is he going to win the championship at Moto2? Is there a chance he can win a championship?
there's a chance, but it's not going to happen. But what I'm going to say is, shut you down.
it down.
Yeah, well, there you go.
People
Put that on record.
Every other rider in Moto3, a group will just dive bomb him. But for some reason, they just can't get close enough to him.
Late braking. Has
He's-
to be.
Yeah.
Has to be. Just the latest on the brakes. We saw that with Mir. We saw that with all the champions. Costa.
It's incredible.
Has to be something to do with that. It's just
incredible.
that bike control.
Anyway, I don't
There's
know.
no-
Moto2.
We've run out of words to describe
Yeah,
this
I
kid.
know.
We've run out of words. We can't say anything better about him. Can he handle the bigger bike? That's the big thing. We talk about these Moto2
Well,
champions.
okay.
He's a tiny kid, but
he's tiny.
very small.
Yeah.
Moto2, there's a common theme with that. If Acosta didn't break his leg, arguably he could have won that title.
Easy.
And Marquez had the same issue.
Correct, injured.
So they
Yep.
both had 2 injuries, and that's obviously a big thing going up to a bigger bike as well, so young.
Yeah.
Guevara broke his leg.
True.
So who
Doesn't
knows?
crash. He doesn't crash. He doesn't make mistakes. He just
I know, but a 765 bike, full size bike as well. It's a
Yeah.
different kettle of fish. You know,
365.
they're all damn she fine.
Gab.
Anyway. Cap. No cap, Skibbity.
That's
all I got. Dallin Alonso's gone.
Any more for 2 wheels?
I was just going to say Jacob did well to pop it in 12th as well.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He did.
yeah. From like 20th.
The boys
or
are
19th.
solid. It was a rough round for the Aussie boys. A couple of DNFs, Moto2, MotoGP,
Yeah.
obviously, but both the Moto2 boys crashed out, Senna and Voigt. So, but there or thereabouts, and move on to the last round, and that's big next year. So
That's it, man. Unlucky for Senna too, because he got caught up in all that other crap.
yeah, I couldn't. Again, the incident was hard to tell.
They don't replay it.
No,
either.
it was sort of like Superbikes, Phillip Island all over again. But
Yeah, Johnny Ray.
What are you doing?
Still flying through the air.
Yeah.
Where's his brother?
Conspiracy.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
conspiracy that
The
crashed.
snake
And it never
catcher.
actually happened.
yeah, a bit like 9/11.
Aliens.
All right, let's move on to F1, boys, because we're back. We are back. Max Verstappen Masterclass.
Is that our performance of the week?
Our performance of the week, and we're still looking for the sponsor. Our performance of the week. He won by fucking 20 seconds, James.
Yeah.
He started 17th on the grid.
Yeah.
And the 3rd best car.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen a performance like this before?
Would you call this the race of like the great equalizer, the rain?
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
It has to
You
be.
know?
And it always is. It always is. Those memories of 2016, Max, remember everyone was going wild. He's gone around the outside of Rosberg, turn 2. There's that scene where his dad's in the pits and he's like, I've seen this kid. And he's just amazed me. Like, and he's seen every race he's ever done. It was just incredible. And you don't appreciate when you're watching it, you appreciate it after the race is finished. And that was one of those scenarios. Yes, you got lucky with a red flag, but smart. Like, just dumb from McLaren again, just pitting when they didn't need to pit. There was going to be a red flag. Someone was going to crash. You stay out. It's the old
They were
buddy.
dropping like
They
flies.
followed.
Yeah, they always do. They always do. So, but yeah, I mean, crazy weekend all up. Shout out to everyone. It was a long day yesterday for everyone at the grade. They had a 3-hour qualifying session. Shout out to Karun Chandon. He was on commentary. 3-hour qualifying session, a 2.5-hour break, and then a 4-hour race. It's 7 hours of coverage, non-stop coverage. It was incredible. The first race since 1984, Dallas Grand Prix, that a race has been brought forward in time. So it was supposed to be at 2 p.m. I got my times mixed up. Apologies, post.
Yeah, copped it
yesterday.
on the messages.
Yeah. I actually was right initially, and they changed it after I posted.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
credit where credit's due. So you're wrong. You're wrong. But yeah, I mean, where do we start?
You know what I liked? Talk about a long day.
Yeah.
Crofty put up a thing. Did you see the queues getting into the circuit at 5:30 in the morning?
Amazing.
They must have been like a couple kilometers long.
Yeah.
It was nuts. At 5:30 in the morning, people were trying to get in.
The other thing is
They're massive fans.
They're massive fans, and they know they're going to be sitting in rain all day.
I know.
I don't think Aussies do that. I don't think we
God,
sit.
no.
We don't
How
sit in the rain.
How quick did Phillip Island clear out last year?
Yeah, I know.
At least it's hot over
But
there.
well
I
done
guess.
for F1. Well done for F1. They changed the times. They were criticised back a couple of years ago at Spa when we got 2 laps in, where they could have changed the time to fit qualifying and the race in that period is incredible. So Let's start with qualifying. I mean, I think a 7:30 a.m. start is wild for a qualifying session. Like,
That is.
Could you guys imagine that? You got to be up at like the
You'd
night
be up at
before.
5:30.
Yeah, 5.
And the night before,
Yeah.
you'd be told you're going to be up at 5:30, and then you're qualifying for the race in the wet. You know, that is just
That's why they're
insane.
professionals.
Well, that's true. I know, but like that is insane. And then having a 2.5 hour break into the race, there was just incident galore. There was 5 cars in the wall.
How good was it?
How do they fix all those cars?
Yeah.
The only one car they didn't fix was Albon's.
Albon.
Yeah. And then Colapinto went in the wall.
Yeah.
Lance Stroll, his team they couldn't have lunch. They had to fix his car, and then he smashes it
On
on
the
fucking
siding
in the
lap.
siding lap, gets bogged in the sand. I mean, seriously, can you believe it?
Taking back to F2.
Taking it back to F2. Anyway, results. Sorry, Daniel, got a bit on there. You've been shaved.
Sprint race results for F1. Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, Charles Leclerc, top 3. Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, George Russell, Pierre Gasly, Sergio Perez, Liam Lawson, and Alex Albon.
How good's weather just like that plays such a great role in that in Formula One.
What do you think of Piastri pulling over for Norris in the sprint
That
race?
pissed me off, man.
And the
That's
radio
it.
messages and shit.
I can't stand Norris. I just think
Tell us how you really feel, bro. Come on, don't
hold back.
Don't
Just
hold
go.
back.
Go.
sound like my therapist. I just
Curtis.
anime, octopus,
Doc Ock.
POV, ebony. Anyway, what were we saying?
Tell us how you
Lando
really feel.
Norris.
Okay, so
he's just whiny and
Yeah.
like pulling over. He's nowhere near winning this championship, and he wasn't on pole. And Piastri beat him to the front. Just take the second, man.
Yeah.
It's a bad look. Don't you think it's a bad look?
Definitely a bad look. And look, online today,
He copped it.
copped it hard. And I think it's a real changing of the tide of the last couple of weeks. People have jumped on Max Verstappen. He's over-aggressive. Yes, he has been. 100%. But the tide's turned back to Max now. Everyone's loving Max again. Dominated. How good was that? And then Norris, you're crying, whinging, Pom. It's amazing how just from race to race, everything can change.
It's just a bad look for the sport. And look, I know there's been, like the famous Barrichello let Michael pass for the championship,
championship.
not for a sprint race.
Yeah.
There's big differences there at the same time.
100%.
Yep.
And okay, if it's if Piastri has to pull over and in the last lap or last third of the race in the last rounds to win the championship, obviously going to do it. No one's going to complain about that. It's a fucking sprint race in Brazil,
Yeah, I know, man.
and he's complaining on the radio. I just don't think it's very sportsman. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you got to have a bit more CUNT and just either make the pass or I don't know. I just don't like it. I think it's a shit look. I think he just whines too much. And
And he didn't
I
have-
don't
he
think
didn't-
it's not a good look for the sport.
He didn't have the pace. He didn't
No.
didn't have the pace to win. He didn't have the pace.
Gifted.
Yeah, he was
Gifted.
gifted. And he didn't have the pace in the race either. I mean, he was dominated.
And then
Yeah.
he dominated when I guess you could say it's an equaliser off the rain. Then he was nowhere. Verstappen comes from 17th to win after he was gifted that
And then he says,
stupid sprint
and
win.
then he says in the press conference, Verstappen got lucky.
Oh,
Got lucky. You come from 17th in the
know.
third fastest car and you got lucky.
The
Come
tide-
on,
you-
Lando.
You are right, though. The tide is turning. I've noticed it probably in the past 3 months, where since Hungary, maybe, where people have kind of gone off him a bit more. And fuck.
Hungary was a big thing for Lando. It was the whining and the carrying on the radio. And that's the reason why a lot of people were off Hamilton back in the day.
Yeah,
Was
same
his
thing.
radio calls were just ridiculous. And on that point, I mean, he's out of form, isn't he, Hamilton? Out in Q1, both SQ1 and Q1, and 2 races in a row, Q1.
Yeah.
So, but back to Lando, it was really disappointing. I think the McLaren team aren't handling it well. They can't handle the heat.
I just don't think they can make the tough calls.
No.
No.
Just let Piastri either win,
Yeah.
just set a firm stance or
or
just
fight it out.
let them fight it out because we're hearing both. It's like papaya rules,
yeah.
and then then he's letting him pass for a fucking sprint.
But then they're calling it 2 laps in.
I know.
Let it, you got to give it up.
It is handled
fucking
poorly.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's just such a shit look. It's just such a shit look for the sport when you're always told as a kid if you do your best or if you're the fastest person out there or the strongest person out there, you get the win. And for that instance, I just don't think that's right. Again, for the last, race and the championship to do it, fine. But for that,
Yeah.
And they almost bottled it, man.
fuck, this entitled, fuck.
Yeah.
They almost bottled it.
Yeah.
McLaren just had ridiculously overcomplicated radio calls as
Yeah.
well. Like, oh, you got Class 1 rain coming in 15 minutes. You got use your energy on winning the race, all right? Get the guy out in clean air, win the race. Like, track position was obviously so important, even in the wet. It was super important. They pit behind Russell where they could have stayed out.
dumb.
Could have stayed out, then it would have been a red flag. He could have swapped the tyres. He would have been leading the race. Like, you could see the writing on the wall that was going to happen. And that was from my lounge chair at 5 o'clock this morning.
Imagine Kimi Raikkonen, and then they're telling him there's Class 1 rain coming in. He goes, shut the fuck up.
I know. And like that overcomplicates your driving as well. Like I just don't get it. I really think they need a whole overhaul of that team. I think they're finally up the front of the grid. They're probably arguably got the fastest car now, and they're just
And look,
they're
two
bombing.
great drivers, but like Norris is just a bitch, man. It's annoying. He's such a pussy.
It is just true, but I can't deal with it. I hated it.
Nah, I don't like it at all. It really annoyed me, and I never get annoyed watching motorsport at all.
Yeah.
And that just pissed me off. I don't know. And I guess if you're listening, you might think, oh, it's just because Piastri's Australian. Yeah, there's a bit of bias to it, but if it was, a Brazilian and a Spanish, wouldn't matter either.
Yeah, whining is whining.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Oh, yeah. He's losing a lot of fans over this, and it's really put a sort of bit of a I don't know. It's just put a bit of hamper on the whole year as well. I think it's just really
You don't win a championship in that mentality anyway.
No, that's right.
Do you think Verstappen thinks like that,
No,
or
God, no.
any of the greats? Oh,
Not a chance in the world.
nah, they just take it.
But yeah, back to you've been James Shaw to that right there. Back to Lance Stroll, like I touched on earlier, but I just want to I can't emphasize how ridiculous that was. So this is the pinnacle of motorsport. Okay, you've already crashed the car in qualifying.
You're already under the spotlight as well.
The team
because of your name.
has worked their ass off. They had to fix Alonso's car as well, so they've worked their ass off to get this car on the grid. So they've spent the whole time fixing the car. You fucking spin in the formation lap. You hit the wall. Okay, all right, get it out of there. Drive straight through the gravel trap. Have you seen the footage?
Yeah, what a dumb.
I've only seen the end of it.
The footage is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, he spins on the tarmac. He turns left into the sand trap where he could have gone up and around where there was tarmac, and then bogs himself.
Beached himself.
And then just gets out of the car and walks off and goes, like it was. It could have been the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen on the Formula One track,
That's a big call.
and it's not talked about enough. It was not talked about enough after that race. Like that was just deplorable. Like,
Yeah.
like
That's
that
actually
was
disrespectful to his team.
100%.
That's a good point.
And like you think he'd walk in and go, oh, guys, I'm so sorry. No, he would have walked straight to his motorhome or whatever it is there, and just sitting. It's not Formula One. He's not Formula One.
No.
I thought he had some talent there, but he has no talent at all, and he is shocking. What an idiot! Time to go. Time to go. Put a star in that car. I mean, seriously.
If anything, he is Formula One because there's always like a billionaire's son in the Grand Prix. So he's actually filling that place nicely.
He is like. You look up fraud watch in a dictionary, fucking Lance Stroll's face is on there.
Nah, because you got to show potential. This is the beauty of fraud watch. You got to show potential. Vinales had all the potential in the world, testing King.
Still does, but come on.
Yeah, that's right. Where he hasn't showed any.
No, he
That's
hasn't.
true. He's a flat out dud.
Yeah.
You know what's wild? I noticed, and I've probably forgotten about this rule: no tyre warmers for the wet tyres in Formula One. No tyre warmers.
Yeah, right.
They're going to send them out there in the worst
Stone
conditions possible, stone cold. Like you think it'd be the other
Well-
way around. You think it'd be the other way around. They'd put probably no, tyre warmers
that's
on the
right.
slicks, so then you can probably warm
Yeah.
Heat him up.
Yeah.
warm the wets up.
That's
But
Formula One. for you.
couple of T-Shab facts. First time Verstappen and Hamilton racing together have both not got to Q3 in qualifying. That's an amazing stat.
That's wild.
Another couple of little stats. Max Verstappen's 62nd race win, which is actually pretty phenomenal when you think about it.
Wow, that many.
And he's
Jesus.
62 points ahead of Lando. Little common little thing there.
Orlando might as well be 162. Doesn't matter.
True. Max 62 race wins from 206 Grand Prix. Lewis 62 race wins from 205 Grand Prix. So he's on track.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lewis has 100 wins. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I thought you'd boys appreciate that.
I like it.
Another one I think you appreciate, James, over the weekend was Liam Lawson getting his elbows out with Perez. So there's a bit of
Yeah.
controversy last round where
Like that.
he sort of pushed Perez to the side, and
Don't worry about Perez.
and then Horner had a discussion with him saying, "Mate, you can't do this. This is the premier team." And then Liam Lawson does the same thing. Doesn't let him pass. Love that. Well done, Liam. And you know what? He would have got flack from that for the team, but in their back of their minds, going, "Nah, this kid."
Yeah, he's got it.
He's got it.
He's got
That's
the
what they
pace.
need. That's what they want to see.
Yeah.
If you let him through, oh yeah, well done, Liam, good work, and then no, he's a bit of a puss.
Yeah.
Other way around, like there's a Max factor.
Reverse
Yeah.
psychology.
Max was terrible when he first started, like blocking people and running
yeah.
people off the road, and then everyone's like, "Oh nah," but everyone in the back of your mind go, "Fuck, this guy is going to be world champion."
Exactly.
one
You
day."
can't be the nice guy.
No.
No way.
And we've talked about that. That's a Republica.
It's true.
That's
He's
true.
been listening to us. And like, no offense to Perez, but he's been there, he's done that. Like
He's gotta go.
He's got to
Time to
go.
go.
You know, if you're going to show no one respect, it's fucking the old Mexican.
Max Verstappen would have never let this world championship slide. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if Lando won that race. He's not going to lose his championship.
It's
He
still
will win.
pretty
No, no
far fetched,
way.
and now
Nah,
it really is.
Nah, he will never let it happen. Red Bull will never let it happen. So,
This race just showed how good he is.
oh yeah, incredible.
Yeah. Well, we just spoke about it last week.
Yeah.
The rain's a great equalizer. See Republic effect again.
Yeah, and look, he really needed to bounce back after last round in Mexico, and he did that in an amazing fashion.
Yeah, he did.
So,
He did.
kudos, Max Verstappen. You are the 87th performance of the week. And could have been one of the best performances I've seen on a Grand Prix weekend.
We need to
So,
think
was
of our end of year show for our best performance of the week of the year.
well, that's up there for me.
yeah.
Ayagura's up there as well. In Japan, that was amazing. Putting
Yeah.
those slicks on.
God, you wouldn't have imagine thinking that
I
10
know.
weeks ago.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, that's it for me, boys. Formula One, another ripping race. 3-week break now, which I'm happy about.
Alpine second, third.
Oh yeah, shit, we haven't even spoke about that.
Viva
wow.
la France.
I know.
Yeah, legit.
First time since like 30 years that 2 Frenchmen have been, 40 years since 2
Yeah.
Frenchmen have been on the podium. Olivier Panis and
Olivia Jacques.
I
Sean Michael Bale.
I should know this. I don't know it. I'm sorry. They said it on the telepass. But anyway, yeah, and crazy. And like they've had a shocking year. Personnel disappeared. Everyone's leaving. They're losing their like they're
Standard
not
French.
They are
retreating.
LP. Well, yeah, I mean they're not supplying the engines for their cars from next
Going back
year.
into the village.
and they get actually the Germans are coming
Yeah.
on board and they're supplying the
Oh,
engines
no way.
with a Mercedes engine. So unbelievable, James. What a turn of events. Going back to history.
Why are they all wearing the same mustache?
Oh god.
There's something
Cancel us.
50 mil for finishing in 6th
Yeah.
place. That's nuts, man.
I know.
That's why they were going
It's a
bonkers
make or
on the
break.
wall.
It's a make or break. They might be able to afford their engines again now. Who knows? But
That's
yeah.
a lot of cash, man.
Yeah, it's a huge deal for them and for the team because $50 million will because it's put them 2 spots ahead in the championship. So
That's
Fuck
awesome.
them up to
pretty
6.
crazy.
It's amazing how quickly you can all turn.
And that's a tight battle now, too.
Yeah.
With Ferrari. And I mean, Sainz not finishing doesn't help, but
DNF superstar.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that one goes down the wire. How many more races for F1?
3 more races.
Oh, sweet.
Las Vegas,
Looking forward to that.
Qatar, Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, nice.
Shout out to Jared Mazden, one of our top fans as well. He's been messaging us through the whole weekend. Big fan, Formula One fan.
One of the OGs.
One of the OGs.
Yeah, absolutely. an
One,
OG.
one of the OGs when we had 100 followers, I reckon.
And he made a before hot take,
We
a
remember them.
world famous hot takes come. James will present. I just want to say, Jared said, "Don't know about you guys, but I could never see Lando doing what Max did today. Too many mistakes from Lando and McLaren.
Agree.
And I totally agree. Yeah.
Agree.
Yep.
Not even a hot take. It's just a nice,
Straight
cool
fact.
Yeah, straight fact.
Yep. 100%.
And tell me something, Lando predominantly not too good in the wet anyway?
Well, there's moments in time where he has been good. He had a massive shunt in Spa and qualifying the wet a few
Yes.
years ago. Massive shunt.
That's
I
when
think
Vettel
he's-
lost the plot.
Correct.
I told you this was going to happen.
Yeah, I think that he's there or thereabouts. He's not a star. Look, I had Hamilton up there.
He was losing it everywhere. We couldn't get
Man,
heat to the tyres.
Well, man, Russell's in the same car and puts it on.
But that's what I mean.
Second.
I was watching going, this
Yeah.
is really odd, especially for Hamilton, who thrives in these conditions.
Yeah, that's a good
But
point.
he
As I
just
said-
was
Drivers drive.
As I
nowhere.
said, he will go to Ferrari and it will be a massive, massive fuck up. And it
That's-
will
that's on
implode.
record. It's
It'll
on
implode.
record.
Yep.
Shout out to the Brazilian fans as well. I don't remember seeing a supporter base where like, who's the last? Senna's obviously their biggest superstar.
Yeah.
Driver of all time. Massa never won a title. Barrichello never won a title. But they always turn out, and like all the homages to Senna is incredible. Where I don't remember any other fan base, you know, once Stoner leaves, you know, 30,000 people don't rock up to Phillip on. Rossi left. The Italians didn't come for a few years, but they always pack that joint out. It's amazing. I don't remember of another fan base.
For them,
I mean, you know what's crazy? You know, it's a crazy question. Who was bigger in their sports, Rossi or Senna? Like, who was bigger?
That's huge, man.
That's a huge question, and we'll never be able to answer.
I'll probably say Senna.
But Senna was a
Two
religion.
different times too.
Senna was like a religion.
Well,
you know?
the thing
That's
as
right.
well, the mystique of Senna, unfortunately, is because he passed.
That's right.
You know,
what could have been?
What could have been, exactly. And I was actually thinking about that during the weekend.
Yeah.
So, you know.
He did a lot of work for charity and stuff like that as well. Massive. That was a big thing with him and what his legacy was. Like, he did a huge things with charity and organisations, and a lot for the poor of Brazil as well. And I think that's why he's so big in that country as well.
Yeah, they love it. Like, you know, they love all the soccer players. And like
they're passionate. It's
they
patriotism.
love it.
Like, that's a big thing with those countries. So patriotic. They love their country. That's what we don't have here in Australia.
No, for sure.
It's going to change in America in 24 to 48 hours, but we'll see.
Oh, is that when it's on?
Well, yeah, election's on Wednesday, our time. Make America great again.
Yeah, right.
Hot takes, Jimmy boy. Get it
Hot
going.
takes, world famous.
World famous.
Everyone knows about it. Pecco Bagnaia knows about it. He
does.
The power rankings.
Yep, true story.
At the_learner_7. What is up with Brad this year? The rookie is showing him the way. Very disappointing form this year from Bad Binder.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
look,
bit of that.
bit of that. I think interesting, him and Miller have had shocking seasons, and obviously the bike is a lot different to what the bike was.
Yeah.
And I think Acosta coming through, obviously amazing talent, but my theory is that he has nothing to compare to in a MotoGP bike, and he's just adapted to it quicker.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Doesn't have to change anything.
No.
That's a good point. Great
Work
point.
around one bike.
At Chris_Seps, I thought it was very funny. I did see a message. Was that you?
I got him so good.
What did you say again?
He goes, he said, how good was Bagnaia?
The qualifying.
Yeah, I said, how good was Bagnaia? Boring Bagnaia, question mark. And then he crashed. I replied saying, yeah, a little bit. And then he went in like a flurry of messages. Fuck Martin, fucking fag, holding hands with his missus. I don't hold hands with her. Come on.
You do more than that, I reckon.
Bagnaia's got his sister bloody putting his socks on. That's a bit gay as well. You know what I'm saying? Sorry.
I don't know if that's gay. It's ancestral, bro.
Same thing.
Is Iannone the MotoGP rider to have Botox? The only MotoGP rider to have Botox. Which is weird that he said that, because my missus were watching MotoGP on Saturday or Sunday, and she's like, Marquez has had work done.
Oh, okay.
The dude doesn't have a wrinkle.
I trust B on that. She's quite knowledgeable.
You should ask your sister.
I'll ask my sister. Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out 99 Aesthetics if you need any work done.
Yeah.
Follow it on Instagram.
Lips, forehead, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. All cosmetic surgery.
Yep.
Cosmetic
shout out.
Do they do
But
the
yes, I will.
underarms for the sweat? I need some of that.
I'm not sure. She's doing some.
She
new
needs to
thing
get that
for,
going.
Like I said, doing a face mask works inside out or something. I don't know.
wow.
Inside
Wait.
out.
Yeah. So you inject it and it works.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a new
good.
trend.
All right.
But yeah, I'll
No, not.
Yeah.
I'll ask
present
Adriana.
some photos. What are you doing?
Yep.
At Willie_Nels.
OG as well.
Another OG.
Yeah.
I think him and his missus maybe listen to the pod. I think I saw a message. Royal Enfield to join Moto3 in the coming years to ensure India GP tap into massive market.
It's not a bad shout. They don't have to really do anything. They just got to sponsor a team, and then it looks like it's their bikes. That's the unique thing about Moto3, Moto2.
Yeah, won't go past 60 kilometers an hour, but that's all right.
Yeah, he won't turn. Good on the
Yeah.
salt flats.
Don't make sports bikes, but yeah.
It's actually not a bad
That's not a
shout.
bad-
That's not a
Yeah,
bad
no.
call.
Not a
Yeah,
bad
I don't
shout
mind
at
that.
all.
yeah.
Michael.Looney, Andrew Fox paid for Miller's ride next year.
Yeah, well, that's what I called that.
Yeah.
I called that, Jim.
I
It
know.
was-
Just
I-
It
it's
was
a
the word on the
homage.
street.
yeah. Oh, was it? Okay.
It was.
Oh, maybe I read it somewhere.
No, you called it, but
So Andrew Fox is Lindsay Fox's son, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
All right, I like it. You're ahead of the curve.
Well, actually, you know what? My theory was AusGP with Campanotti and Travis Uld being the friends.
Oh, he was sweating Paolo on the weekend.
dog
He was-
Paolo.
There's
yeah,
another
he was
big
sweating.
dog, but there's Campanotti. There's another big dog.
There is another
He
big
always
dog.
dresses cash with the pink shirt.
Yeah, I don't know who. I think he's something to do with Dorna.
Yeah,
maybe, or
he's in that.
FIM.
I like
maybe?
the Leopard Racing big dog.
Who's that? Is that the guy with the cigar?
I see the g'day big dog. He goes, "G'day." But he was a big dog,
He
bro.
was.
The chain, the tan, the cigar.
You got to be big. You got to have the chain, and you got to have the cigar.
yeah.
I ain't no big dog.
Nah.
You two are big dogs. You
Oh,
just
I
need the
mean,
chain.
I just
yeah.
need the cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you got the tan already, you lucky ducky. Oh, nice.
See, you got the chain.
Got it ready to go.
Yeah, nice.
I just had to put this one in here at Valentino Marks 46.
What?
Maverick is the most overrated MotoGP rider since he's on Yamaha. He will never be champion.
Nah, no way.
Time's gone. Frauds.
See you later.
Yeah, he's gone. He's done.
We still love him, but
I love
Oh,
him.
yeah, we got to have him in the grid just so we
Yeah.
can talk about him.
Imagine doing a podcast with him if all the shit was spoken. Fuck.
What's the
no,
wor-
we're big fans, baby.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing than being? What's the worst than being talked about, not talked about? You know what I'm
true.
saying?
Dave Shaw. At Russell Rosario. Oscar will beat Lando next season.
Good shout.
Yeah, it's a very good shout.
Oh, he's so talented, Piastri. Like it's his,
Unless Lando makes him move over every race because he can't handle the heat.
I reckon we're going to see one of those two in Red Bull next year. That's my theory. I know they're locked in the
Yeah.
contracts, but
If you're Oscar, I remember seeing something. I was going to ask you if you're Oscar and they offered him a mighty contract.
It'd have to be
would you-
money?
would you take it?
well, I think that Mark Webber connection. Who knows?
True.
But you got to be Max's teammate. No one's ever succeeded being Max's teammate. That's the big thing.
Yeah, and he's in like arguably the best car at the moment.
But apparently, Colapinto's been offered $20 million to race for Red Bull. The guy's raced 5 races and was nobody like
Hey,
2 months ago.
He's done pretty good though.
He's done amazing,
yeah.
but to go to a factory
Factory
Red
team.
Bull team,
Better than fucking Perez.
I know
but
better
Jesus.
than Perez, but like bro, how do they not? If Sonoda doesn't get that drive, why bother having him?
He did nothing as well. His Ford watch.
yeah, he had it all right.
Oh, he got
weekend.
points.
He had an all right
He got
weekend.
points.
He probably had
because
his
the
best
couple
weekend.
of people crashed in front of
Yeah,
him.
he
though.
probably had the best weekend he's had all year, but anyway, still fraud.
Oh, major.
But has shown potential, Jim, or not?
Who?
From Sonoda. So,
Nah.
so he's not.
So
He
he's
can't
on
be
fraud
fraud
watch.
then.
Oh, is that what you mean? I thought you meant for the race.
Good twist, that one.
You like that? Yes, because he was built to be the next Red Bull driver.
Correct. I will give you a fact. This is that not a lot of people know.
He's got a thick neck.
He was third. He was third fastest in testing when he's on his debut year.
Yeah.
But no one really.
That's fraud. That's very fraudy.
Nobody realised that he used the DRS around the whole track, not just the front straight. Nobody realised.
See, they cheat. They cheat. They
Kamikaze style.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Always goes back to World War II with us. If you listen to our Patreons, it's basically just a history lesson and
Yeah.
and Tom
And
saying
geography.
and Tom saying words, very bad words. At the _289, the number 1 plate going to Aprilia in 2025 is better for the sport than Pecco winning again.
I think we all agree on that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Daniel maybe not, but I'm not speaking
Yeah,
for you.
no, I think so.
I think it mixes things up really
absolutely
well.
it does.
Yeah.
I think either way, the sport doesn't lose.
No,
No, you're right. You're right. Because if Pecco comes back and somehow miraculously wins the title, how amazing is that?
Yeah, that's crazy as well.
I never know how to pronounce this guy's name.
Melbourne.
And at Artisanal Bogan, Moto 2 has been the hottest championship in 24. Every weekend has felt like it's a toss-up, which I agree.
Yeah, I think it's a good
How
shout.
many different winners do they have? It's crazy.
That you don't know who's going to win. And Jake Dixon fluffing it, buddy.
Canet finishing second.
Canet, Igura up and down.
Yeah.
I think they've had 16 different podium finishes
That's
this year.
crazy.
That's crazy.
Something like that.
Navarro,
Half the field's finished on the podium. That's unheard of.
Furman's up and down, center podiums.
Yeah.
Sergio Garcia for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been. And who would have thought that a couple years ago? Seriously. Rick.Far. If Aprilia and KTM get it together, Acosta or Martin can take the reins of the MotoGP Championship next year. Thoughts? It's a hard one because you've got Bagnaia and Marquez on a factory Ducati.
Yeah, I think, guys, I think we all agree Marquez is going to be hard to beat next year.
I don't know.
Oh,
man.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I'm still not convinced.
How well he's going the last few rounds with that bike. I mean,
Yeah, but what's he done in the main race, Tom?
cheers.
He's dumped it both.
I know, but he's just hanging on. But he's hanging on every lap.
One
you know?
thing, I guess,
Over the limit.
He is beating Bastianini on a GP24, who's no slouch. But I just can't predict what he's going to do next year.
No.
He could either win it, and we're not going to be surprised, or he could either not win it, and we won't be
That's
surprised. You know, who knows? It's such a question mark.
It is. It's such a question mark.
But I don't know. I think they won't take the reins. They just probably will share the love and podiums, Aprilia and KTM, if they get it together. If Aprilia do well next year, I don't think Bezecchi's going to do anything. But if Martin does amazing, then it just really solidifies what Fraud Watch means to this motorsport world.
Yeah. It's
true.
It's very important. It is very important.
Does Martin stay on Fraud Watch next year? Because I don't think I want to open him up with Fraud Watch because at the moment there's no potential. At the I don't see him doing anything, so he can't be a fraud.
If he wins the championship, but he's got to start.
No, sorry, not Martin.
I was going to
Maverick
say,
Vinales.
fucking hell. Martin and Fraud shouldn't be said in the same sentence.
Yeah, Maverick Vinales.
Does he stay on Fraud Watch?
Yeah, next year on the KTM.
Yeah, of course he starts on fraud. Oh, not testing.
He
but
resets Fraud Watch, but
testing king.
Yeah, it's resets. It resets. If he's fast and testing, then he's straight on.
yeah, we need like a fraud behind us.
He's over there. Go get him.
Yeah, no, we need like a list here. Like I remember Top Gear when they had the.
We
quickest
should
lap.
keep a tally of who goes into Fraud Watch.
We need it up there, and then
Costa's been close a couple of times.
Oh, it's harsh.
It's harsh, but this is the thing. Like, you know,
It's a cutthroat podcast, mate.
It's his first year.
that's the thing, you know.
Is he leading the non-Ducati championship as well?
Because of the DNFs from Indy.
Yeah.
Unreal.
It is unreal, but he was close, and it's up to them, you know. It's up to them, not up to me. I don't make the rules, even though I do. But Maverick Vinales, I don't think will start unless he's fast on testing. I don't think he's going to start on Fraud Watch.
Okay.
Barcelona as well.
But if he wins
adds
a race,
different-
and that's it.
adds a different dynamic. Barcelona testing as well.
Yeah, true. Bezecchi definitely starts on Fraud Watch, and Morbidelli starts on Fraud Watch. That's two shoo-ins.
Yeah.
Heard it here first. At Luke Miller, who is your favourite MotoGP team manager?
Oh, I like the little Boysaw.
Gino Borsoi.
Gino Boysaw.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I like him as well.
I still like Tardozzi.
I like Brivio just for what he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all good. They're all good.
Aki Io.
But you know what's
Yeah,
crazy? They're all
Aki's good.
they've become so much more famous in the last few years, I reckon.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
because of Tardozzi and the Italians, but
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And they like
Ciabatta.
that's the best thing when they've got the camera on. Ciabatta.
Paolo
Ciabatta.
Ciabatti with the
With his mail order.
With the mail order. I reckon he's got one every country.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you,
100%.
Bart? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, not me, man. It's disgusting.
Nah, talk to me off camera. In the doghouse.
Stan.
Yeah, tell me about it.
When are you not?
Yeah, I know, it's hard. Gotta burn it.
Quickly next before he says this, he's going to regret.
No, I'm not cutting it. I'm not cutting it.
Nah, send it out.
Send it out into the ether. This is a good one. Hart Melbourne always
Yeah,
does
he
a few
does.
good ones. David Alonso has more potential than Acosta did. Their rivalry could be legendary.
The rivalry will be legendary.
The potential is an
Potential
interesting
part,
one
that's
because David's done more, but the potential for both, I think, still there.
Yeah.
yeah.
The
It'll
better
be a great rivalry.
Yeah.
I
Next
still
year's
think
gonna be
Acosta's
incredible.
got more potential.
Wow.
I think.
next year's going to be incredible. It doesn't matter what happens. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
True. What do we got? B _ Rothberg. You're starting a team from scratch. Name team principal, sponsor, and pilots for either F1 or MotoGP. Daniela.
Team principal Brivio.
Yep.
He's the man. Been there, done that.
Sponsor and riders.
As in, when they say sponsor, as in, like, what bike do I want them on? Or
Nah, let's just say sponsor.
Gee, that's hard. That's actually really a tough one. PlayStation.
Oh, that's cool.
So Sony.
I like that.
That is cool.
PlayStation would be cool to see back. Riders, Tony Arbolino and
Best mates.
yeah, we're best buds. No, take out Tony. Toprak
Yep.
and Martin.
Nice. That's a good team.
Yeah, Toprak and Martin.
Martin Marquez for me. Red Bull sponsored. What's the third?
Team
principal.
manager.
Oh, team manager.
Massimo Ravioli.
I don't know. He's not very good though. Put that team into the ground. Got Martin, but that's pretty impressive. Nah, Tardozzi in there. I like the passion.
Yeah.
Got to have the passion.
You?
I'll go Tardozzi. You took it out of my mouth.
You love
Pilots, I'll go Acosta Marquez, Spanish Mafia, and I'll finish it off because I'm repping them, Repsol. Someone had to say it. I like that one, but at Jack_Harney, if it rained every single Sunday race, Jack Miller would be top 3 in the championship.
He'd just about win it, I think.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wouldn't be far off, would he?
Yeah, or Binder's very good in the wet as
Him
well.
and Miguel.
Oh, fucking Miguel, he's not even right.
Where's Miguel? Is he gone for the year? Is he-
Yeah,
Miguel.
injured.
Oh, yeah, we know that because we had the podcast with Salvatore. Sorry.
He's fraud watch as well, Miguel.
Salvatore. Nah, come on, bro.
No, Miguel's from us.
Nah, not Sav. I'd be rude as.
As rude as my Kelso comment.
Yeah. Last one. At Matt Stevens _. Should Fabio have gone to Aprilia or will his brand loyalty pay off?
I think his bank account's going to be paid off. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Definitely, but I think his brand loyalty is going to pay off as well.
I think so
he's
as
making
well.
inroads on the Yamaha.
But he's doing an amazing job. We know that, and they got
V4's
good
coming.
They got good things coming. When's the last time they had a satellite team? Has it been 4 years?
A couple
2
years.
years.
The VR46.
Nah, Petronas.
Petronas, yeah.
Rossi and Dobby.
Rossi and Dobby. So good things coming. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Don't we have one more on our messages that we missed a couple of weeks ago? We got re-messaged.
Oh, fuck. Who was it from? Do you remember?
No.
Let's have a
Something
quick
about
look.
Rossi and Stoner or
Who was that? I did see it, but...
Just get the if we can, just get the hot takes in on time, and then we won't have this problem.
no, it was too big to write in the.
Oh, okay. Credit where credit's due. Sorry.
Nah, I don't know. You're going to have to re-put it through. We got too many messages. That's the problem.
We'll re-put it through for next week. We'll do some research.
Yeah, I'll make sure I screenshot it. I'll make sure I screenshot it next time because there's fucking...
It's too much going
There's
on.
biddies messaging us and
Yeah.
we're poking them away.
We're
with
big
stick
deal. We're
and-
big deals now, so it's hard to keep track.
Big in the northern suburbs.
Shout out to Ashton as well. Ran into him at Coles in Eltham. Great ripper bloke. Listen to the podcast from the start.
What are you doing
so-
in Coles and Eltham?
I don't know. I felt like a bit of punts going in it there, but I don't know. Mel wanted something from Eltham, so
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
obliged.
No racing, no type of motorsport at all this week?
No,
Nothing?
Oh,
No.
what about your superbikes? Is
Nah,
that
it's
done?
finished.
no, that's done.
Oh,
It's
okay.
done and dusted.
We got a very special podcast guest getting released on Monday next week, guys. So don't stress. We've got a great pod coming, and it's probably one of the best ones we've ever had.
Easily one of the best ones I've ever had. Every weekend's
Very
the best one
cool.
I've ever had, but
Yeah.
this one's very, 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 very good.
Beautiful. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, boys.
All right, we'll see you in a couple of weeks
Yeah.
for the
enjoy next
season
one.
finale
Jesus.
for MotoGP.
Huge.
La
true.
Familia.
Huge.
Oh, it's ASBK's season finale this week. There is,
Are you
there is
going?
racing.
I was talking to you. I was talking to someone about you today.
Yeah, I'm going to try and go.
You're going to go off Ibby?
Yeah, he's already got his passes.
At,
so.
at the bend.
At Zibend.
If anyone's...
550 a night, but to stay at the track.
tell
What
them
a
to
roar.
fucking get stuffed.
That's sport. That
That's
organisation.
that's ridiculous.
Well, it's not their fault, I suppose.
No, it's
but
what the
Is-
band
Is,
charges.
is that where you're staying, but?
No way. I've got to try and find an Airbnb.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Or just sleep in the back of the car. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Josh Waters, Mike Jones, down to the wire. So,
Yeah, I'm spewing, but I'm in Airlie Beach.
yeah,
sipping
enjoy it, Jim. And
cocktails.
James Shaw, happy 30th birthday.
Thanks, thanks, boys.
dirty 30.
30, 30, I'm old.
All right.
I'm old.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks, guys.
See you
ya.
guys.